In this video we're comparing the 10-20 f4 PC to the 11mm f1.8, both for APS-C but on full frame Sony A7 IV. Previous video we talked about this, which is the 10-20mm, and how you can use this on the Sony A7 IV in a secret full frame mode. Talking about the design, they are pretty similar lens, they are very light. The 11mm is slightly lighter, but nothing very relevant. The build quality is pretty much the same. 10-20 of course is a zoom, so as a zoom rocker. The main question about this video is the zoom rocker worth the trade-off of the f4. Okay, so this is the 10-20, we are around at 11 with active stabilization turn on, so we are around 12mm. As you can see, it's pretty wide. I'm a little bit more than one arm away. Okay, right now we are at the same distance as before. As you can see, it's probably a little bit wider. But what I noticed immediately is that now the light that was perfectly fine with the f4 that we used before, right now is too much, so I am a little bit overexposed. If I want, I can lower the ISO, reducing noise. They both have the ultimate dual motor autofocus, so the autofocus is very good. As you can see, the focus distance is pretty close. As you can see, the minimum focus distance is as good as the other one, but it's a little bit more wide, so my face is a little bit more distorted. Now let's test the focus. Autofocus works pretty well. Right now I am ISO 320 against 1000 on the other lens, so this is something you should keep in mind. Of course, if you go outdoor, then the f4 is better, but with this one you also have the choice to go to f4, so why not? Now let's make a low light test, because right now we are with a lot of light. So now let's turn off the main light. Okay, 10-20, and we are at ISO 5000, so there is definitely more noise. This is very important in my opinion to keep in mind if the f4, so the low light capability, are worth the trade-off of the zoom. It's pretty dark, but I can go up with the ISO. Okay, so this is the 11mm f1.8. As you can see, we are at ISO 2000, but you can see pretty well, but it's pretty dark. And talking about zoom, on the 10-20, we can zoom in, of course, up to 20. And then if we want, we can use clear image zoom. And we get 1.5 times crop over that. And if we want, we can go in crop mode, so crop 1.5 times and then add again clear image zoom and zoom again. So as you can see, we are pretty close. I didn't move, I am at the same distance. The other end, on the 11mm, we can active clear image zoom and crop 1.5 times, or go in crop mode and then use clear image zoom. So of course the 10-20 has more reach, but also for being a prime lens, also the 11mm with clear image zoom and crop mode has a big reach. So in my opinion, not having the 10-20mm is not a big problem. With clear image zoom you lose some kind of autofocus, but in my opinion Sony camera works very well and I don't think it's a problem even zoomed in. Okay, now let's test the f4 versus f1.8. Right now we are on the 11mm at f1.8, and as you can see here the background is pretty blurred and nice, and we are very close and basically touching the lens. I am still in focus. And this is 10-20. We are very close to the subject, but the background is less blurred. But of course with this you could zoom in and you will get a little bit more of compression being a longer lens, and touching with the 11mm works a little bit better. And now the final test, the vlogging test. Right now we are on the 10-20. We go from a lot of light to very dark areas. The ISO goes up to 10,000, 12,000 here. Pretty stable, we have active stabilization turned on. Right now I am walking. I'm running. I think the stabilization works pretty well. But as you can see, this one is f1.8 and we have even too much light. We could go in 2.8 definitely, but the blur background is definitely super cool and I think it's really nice for vlogging. Now let's go in the darker part as we did before. Right now we are at ISO 2000, so 12,000 against 2000. I think that even if in the full frame camera very good, in low light situation 12,000 is a lot even for the Sony A7 IV. So if you vlog in different scenarios with a lot of light, it's better the f4, but with low light situation the f1.8 is definitely the king. Okay, now let's test active stabilization. Right now I'm running. I think it works pretty well. So it's time to wrap up the conclusion. They are both a very wide lens, so the field of view is very wide. The 11mm is a little bit wider. In fact, when you are vlogging, you see that the face is a little bit distorted, but on the other end, the f1.8 will give you a really nice blurred background. Definitely return this, the 10-20. And I'm going for 72 hours in London with this 11mm to try to vlog and see how it performs. So hopefully I answered your question. Be sure to like this video and subscribe for the next video in London. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!